Back to business.
Back to business.
And back to breakfast with the boss. And I'm sitting right next to you, right here, Scott Tanker. He is the boss.
Welcome, everybody. Here we are, Breakfast with the Boss, part of RadioVisionNetwork.com and your morning coffee show. As you know, this show's all about the entrepreneurs and the businesses that come on to tell us the reason why they do their work, their purpose, their passion, and how they can be of some help to the business world out there. Today, we've got some great people. In fact, if you have a business, you ought to be listening to this show, because these people are going to help you change your thinking and help you even understand whether you need to change your thinking. And let's say hello to Al Cini and Partners. And we have Al and we have Joe Asamendi. How are you doing?
Hey,
nice to see you both.
Pleasure.
Mark, these guys are HR experts, but not in the legal sense. They're really the kind of guys that help a company blossom their character. So they find a mission, they find a purpose. Tell us how you got into this business. Help Mark and I understand, and the audience, how you can help small and large companies alike, get more successful, have more fun at your job.
Well, in the beginning, what we were looking at is we looked at the Gallup people. The Gallup organization has spent millions and millions of dollars on looking at the state of the American workforce. And what they found out that basically, and it's happening right now, is if you take a normal industry in America, about 35% of the people are really engaged in their business. They're given 110%, et cetera. On the back end, about 20% of people are just collecting paychecks, just going in and collecting paychecks. So what you have in there is you have a lot of people in the middle that are just there. Now, what happens with the stakeholders and the managers and department heads of companies are really dwelling on those two things. On the top end, that's your pets. You're going to do everything you can because they're perpetuating your business. On the back end, you're watching those people like hawks,
right.
Make sure what they're doing. So what do you have in the middle? You have all these people. If these people become disgruntled, they're going to go the wrong way, and then you're going to have a disruptive workforce. But how do you take and you get these people to go the other direction? So what we've done is we've devised a program that basically gets people more energized in their company, more engaged in their company, and it's done, we're done during self-motivation, which makes a big difference. We don't lecture people how to do it. We give them a platform for making small changes to become more engaged in their business.
So is it a self-awareness type of program that employees go through, or is that one of the things they can do?
It's one of the things they can do.
Self-awareness is part of it, but the bigger part of it, for us anyway, is organizational awareness. What is this team on the field to do? What are we here, and what are we about? Most organizations don't spend very much time on that at all. And so what we wanted to do is devise a simple, kind of quick technique that makes it possible for companies to figure out their why, what's their reason for existing. Mm-hmm. After that, they communicate that down to their people, and now their people understand what the mission is.
So oftentimes you'll meet a client, a boss, a group of bosses, partners, and they may not even have sat down long enough to figure out who they are, what their mission is.
Yeah,
right.
And
Exactly.
do you find that to be a difference in the age of the owner? Because I would think the new owners are more savvy than the older owners are.
The newer owners, people who just started the company, younger business owners, are people who are closer to the mission of the company. Older people have gotten away from that, have gotten lost often in the details of how to manage their business, and maybe have forgotten or maybe don't bother to articulate as much what they got in business for. So our job is to try to remind everybody, what is this organization about, and how can we all give ourselves to it a little bit more willingly. And
Al, you're the partner. You started the firm.
I'm the content guy.
Give us the history. How you got to this? ACP is a firm that helps companies, and you're the guy.
I don't know if we have time. I did a little bit of research on Al. Oh my gosh, this guy, he's done like everything in the world.
Is he going to be arrested?
Done that yet.
He started, and this is amazing because, I'm not trying to put you on the spot or anything, but you studied psychology, right?
Yep.
Back at LaSalle, and then you transferred to Vanderbilt, right?
Right. Uh-huh.
Which two awesome schools.
Absolutely.
And then you were like in engineering or something? Am I like...
It's a software engineer.
Software engineering.
And an IT guy for a long time.
Which has nothing to do with personality.
Well, actually, it has everything to do with personality. I'm glad you said that.
I'm glad you said that.
I was an IT project manager, and this is large-scale projects.
It's all
a lot
true.
of the work I did was for NBC. I think I mentioned before.
Right, I'll slide.
Some pretty large projects. When people understood what it was they were supposed to do, they did it. And my job as a project manager was to chase around after them and make sure they had what they needed. When people didn't know what they were supposed to be doing, they didn't do anything. And my job was to drag them through one deadline after another. So everything about our company is about the difference between the successful project where people are engaged in producing the result that they're cooperating on versus the unsuccessful project, the project where people struggle and aren't quite sure what they're supposed to do. The latter projects, according to most research, at 65%. Only about 35% actually achieve what they were originally set out to achieve, and it's all about psychology. Has nothing to do with technology. It has to do with whether people feel like they belong, whether they feel like they're valued, whether they feel like they're
So
respected.
talent comes out when they feel like they belong, they feel like they're valued, they feel like they make a difference, which is pretty common sense.
All the negativity disappears.
Right.
All the how come
obstacles.
he's got that and I don't? How come she got this recognition and I didn't? That all goes away. It melts away. All the reasons why you're not successful disappear.
Well, it's environment. It's part of being, when you're a part of a successful environment, it makes you feel like you are contributing to a greater good or a greater goal. And I wanted to ask you guys, because a lot of the big buzzwords right now is everybody talks about, they talk about product, they talk about process, and they talk about people. And we come back time and time again and we find out that people is the most important aspect of that, because you can have a great product, you can have a really good process along the way. But if your people aren't 100% on board with what the mission of the company is, you find a lot of disconnect. And it's between the owner and the employee, and it's between the employee and their task, and it creates kind of a quicksand type situation that could be a real slippery slope fast for these guys that have the right product, they have the right process, and this is where you come in to kind of clean up the people aspect of it.
Well, clean up. That's a good way to put it, Mark.
Yeah, I don't want to say the wrong thing, but you know what I mean.
You did fine. You did fine. But it has to be measurable. It has to be scientific. I mean, my background is quantitative psychology, not touchy-feely.
Right. Okay.
So a big part of what we are, and a big part of what we've been doing for the last 5 years, is to develop an instrument that measures, maps, and captures the culture and brand of a group.
And this supersedes any type of business or industry.
It doesn't make any difference. It
We
could
want to
be a
get
small
into this.
group. It could be a whole company.
I definitely want to hear more about this. We must take a commercial break to pay our commercial sponsors.
Great.
We are here with two really fascinating people in the HR division or group, in the HR industry, I should say, but not the normal HR industry. They're not here doing legal documents and compliance issues. It's actually, to me, more important. It's getting people on board, getting them to love what they do and to do it the way they should do it. And so we'll be right back after these messages. Please don't go away. It's Breakfast with the Boss.
Our culture is what we believe in, and our brand is what we do in our work. When our brand and our culture are in alignment with each other, we become more than just good. We become excellent. Think of this alignment as a mix of flavors in our water cooler. When we gather around and drink it ourselves, we're savoring our culture. When we serve it to our friends and neighbors, we're expressing our brand. So, what's in your water cooler? For groups of all kinds and sizes, our brand and culture alignment toolkit will provide you with a unique water cooler recipe that expresses and makes you the very best at what you do. It all starts with a simple, affordable 20-minute online survey. Completely confidential, you can take it whenever suits your schedule. Within 2 days, you'll receive a BCAT report that expresses your team's signature brand and culture in plain English and includes simple exercises that will help align your team's leaders, stakeholders, and members. Thanks for your time. Please visit our website for more information or to order your BCAT survey and report.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee here on the Radio Vision Network. You are watching Breakfast with the Boss, and we appreciate that. Thank you very much. So we're continuing our conversation with Al and Joe from Cini and Partners, and I want to make sure that everybody knows that they can go to the website right now. It's very slick, but it's very easy. Cini and Partners.com. It doesn't get any easier than
That's
that.
pretty simple.
Yeah.
ALCINI.
And what's cool is when you go to the website, so really what you could do right now is just go to the top of the page. You're already on the internet, right? You're either on your phone or the computer. Open up another tab, go to Cini&Partners.com and check out the website. You got really slick looking website. It looks really cool.
Thank you.
And I kind of want to jump right into one of your big programs. And I want you to tell me about it because I I know that I did a little bit of research about it, but I know that
They're the guys.
this is a really, really cool program that you guys have.
Yeah, it's like like you said, it's more quantitative than qualitative.
And we feel it has to be. And if there's anything we know, it's when you talk about people in business in the 21st century, it's got to be inexpensive, it's got to be effective, it's got to be fast. Anything that's going to take a long time and cost a lot of money is going to be something that they don't want to listen to. And in fact, it shouldn't be expensive or slow. It should be fast and inexpensive. And that's really what the brand and culture alignment toolkit is. We've developed a program that measures the brand and culture of a company, could be a whole company, could be a group or department within a company, to try to get a sense of what their culture is so that we can put everybody on the same page with that and give everybody the sense of mission they need to boost their productivity from 35% to 65 or 70%. And we have statistics. It's been in development for 5 years. We've got about 1,100 data points and actual applications of it. We have statistics that show that we can double that.
Let's put the rubber to the road. I'm sure you've done this for a couple companies. Walk
35.
us through a particular company. You can be your favorite. I'm good to go.
Sure.
I want to know, and I want to sort of see how you have different levels of employees. I've owned companies, and I'm fascinated by this. In fact, I think the listeners should be fascinated because when you have an interested party doing something for you, you get so much more done. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know it from a kid's point of view. You can know it from an adult's point of view. Why don't we focus? Because once they get to be adults, we expect them to know, and that's not necessarily fair. Because I have an old saying that adults are just kids who owe money.
Oh, yeah. That's
exactly
a good,
right, yeah.
That's a good saying.
And
I
it's
like
funny because you mentioned about their clients and they're trying to be very low key.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we've done it for about 35 companies. Well, I saw a little bit of the list, and I'm not going to embarrass you by mentioning any of those
It's
companies.
impressive, yeah.
Some of these companies are some of the most well-known and recognized brands in the country,
Yeah.
and
So
it's
walk
really,
us
really
through.
exciting.
Yeah. Give us an idea how you do
Six
it.
Flags?
Let me tell you how that works. Six Flags is one. We could do the Six Flags one. Well,
What do you want to do?
first of all, I know what I want to do. Let me think about it.
You're not going to love
Get the gloves out. Get the gloves
I
out.
love it.
Which one?
Great.
What's the success story?
Yeah. Somebody
Yeah, I wish I had that problem. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It starts with the people who own a company, let's say, the people who run it. And it could be 1 or 2 leaders. It could be 3 or 4 leaders. an
Supervisors,
executive
whatever.
board.
Right.
They all think they know what it is they're doing for a living. Our job with the BCAT survey is to find out if they actually do understand what it is they do for a living. So in 20 minutes, everybody who's part of the executive leadership team goes online, takes a BCAT survey, and what they get back is a data point on a map that tells me and them what their brand and culture are. Now, to talk about that, culture in an organization is what you believe and what you feel. Generally, you can't see that.
Right.
Brand is how you behave, what you do because of what you feel and what you believe. Okay? When your brand and your culture are in alignment with each other, when you're behaving in a way that reinforces what you believe and vice versa, then you start getting tremendous pickups in productivity. Okay? The challenge is to get people to be mindful of their behavior and aware of their culture so that they can align them up with each other, and that BCAT step is the first step. So if you've got 5 or 6 leaders in an executive team and they see that they've got 5 or 6 different data points on this map, the first aha experience is, are we 1 company or are we 5 companies? We've got to get those 5 data points down to the 1 data point that best represents what you all agree is the brand and culture of this organization.
Yeah, because really, those 5 answers should match.
They have to
They
match.
should be all on the same page.
And
that's
when they don't match, the people who work for the company get to pick who their boss is.
right.
And if their bosses don't agree with each other, they become immediately aware of that. And they start working in silos, and they bond with the individual that they feel they have the best relationship with.
So, and I'm actually even more interested in smaller companies because that's where my heart is. The meat of this country is small, medium-sized companies, and you've worked on very large companies with different departments. Take a small company.
My
with 10
favorites are
employees.
small companies.
That-
Those are my
because
favorites.
you really, first of all, the feeling is so real with the small. I mean, you really see the difference,
Right.
and I want you to share that difference.
Start with an accounting firm, or let's say a charter school.
Perfect.
Small businesses have a specific mission.
Accounting firm's wonderful.
Accounting firm, in particular, I have an accounting firm that I work with where we did an initial BCAT assessment with 5 of the members of their executive team. And we got 5 different data points.
Naturally.
The biggest outlier was the person who happens to be the founder and owner of the firm.
Oh.
Okay?
Almost naturally.
Almost naturally. And so I don't tell them where
No,
the data
you don't know
point
who's who,
belongs.
who's
I
where,
just
right.
show them, these are where all your answers
We don't
came.
know who's who, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. And the first person to say, I'm wrong and everybody else is right, was the founder and owner of the company. Very proud guy. has every right to be proud. He does a great
Built a
job.
great
He's
company.
built a great firm.
Yeah.
But what he had too much of himself in this and not enough of
Others.
everybody else.
Right.
So he ended up moving his data point, and it only took a couple hours. It never takes longer than 2 hours. It can't.
Right.
If it does, we're not getting it right.
Right, you're not getting it. Yeah.
And within 2 hours, we get everybody to agree on the data point that best represents their consensus, and then we present that out to the accountants. Everybody in the accounting firm then goes through an exercise where they identify their data point relative to that target.
Now
Now
that
what we
data
have
point
is a
is
target.
written. It's a written sentence at some point. 'Cause it's not just a dot on a.
We haven't gotten to the written sentences yet. Everything's done with just points on a map. So it's literally like a GPS for an organization.
That's a
You
really
create
cool
a map,
system.
How do you
put
get
data
That
points on
sounds
it.
really
Okay.
cool.
Yeah, if you think about it, there's a destination. That's where we all want to be. And then
Right.
each individually, we do a couple of exercises to teach us where we are on that map.
Yeah, and if people are interested, if they go to the website, and again, it's Al. Am I saying it right?
Cini and Partners, yeah.
CiniandPartners.com. I wanted to make sure there's a BCAT button on there. You can learn all about this
It's all
on
pretty
the
well laid out
website. It's
there.
really
We've been-
comprehensive. It's broken down very nicely.
Oh, thanks, Mark.
I think that
Appreciate that.
I think that this is important because you need to make sure, and it's a really hard thing to evaluate. I think for most businesses, and that's why they call you, is to see where the discrepancies are on that mission, on that singular goal. Because when you're finding these data points all over the place,
Wow.
I don't know how anybody can move forward, right? Like that's
They can. It becomes, and the C is more important than read. And that was more, at what point does this become a written experience?
Well, people have
Hardly,
to-
not until the very end.
Right.
It's much easier to visualize a goal, to imagine it or to see it, because people tend to think more through their eyes than through their ears.
right.
So keeping it all graphic until the last exercise is
It's
the
just
key
putting
to
it
getting
together.
everybody to understand. This isn't about me losing or winning. This is about us getting it together and getting on the same page.
I think what we're learning is that look, there are a lot of corporate cleanup type companies out there, and that they go in and they do training and they do all of this stuff. Your approach is totally different than everybody else, and I think that that's why you've been successful with this. Is that you're basing it on the psychology side of things,
Yeah, the behavioral side.
and kind of like how this all needs to fit together as actual people and not just cogs in a wheel or however you want to describe it. It's really, I'm kind of getting this picture that you guys do it so differently. And I don't know if we can talk about, I know we're up against a break,
You have to get on the break, yeah.
but you guys even have like even more in-depth programs that I think we should talk about kind of coming up after the break. There's something about some Kool-Aid or,
Oh, yeah.
or
What's
something like
fascinating,
that.
what's fascinating to me is when you can
That's the fun.
quantitatively determine qualitative issues.
Right.
Yes.
That's
That's
what it's
exactly
all. Then
right.
you've merged the two. We'll be right back because we have some fascinating stuff to go over with you. Please stay with us. This is ACP. These two guys are going to help your company.
I was looking
Stay
at my phone, right? Because I was looking at Alan Joe's website again. This is the best tagline, right? Your people aren't your problem; they're your solution.
always.
And if you don't start thinking that way, folks, you've got disaster. You're heading straight for it. I'm telling you.
Yep.
So you got to tell me, guys, about this corporate Kool-Aid cookbook.
Okay,
What is this
great.
program?
How did that start? Okay, well, when people ask us what we do, we say we sell Kool-Aid. What do you do? We sell Kool-Aid. Well,
You
what-
bust through walls, Joe, and you're like, yeah!
Like that.
just like that.
Without a cape.
Well,
Yeah.
what that means is you take the metaphor of what are you drinking out of a cooler, and what flavor is a company serving? Okay, that's the Kool-Aid metaphor is all about. Because what happens is if you think of everybody drinking the same flavor Kool-Aid and they're all on the same page, wondrous things can happen. I mean that's why you have a Humanity for Habitat for Humanity. That's why you have an Apple. That's why you have a Google, because they're all basically drinking the same flavors. What we've done is we've developed a system where we have individuals that once they're identified with that culture of the company and what's being served, that they can make small changes in their behavior of how they go to work every day, so that they become more aligned in that. Once they become that, they buy into the system and they become engaged employees. And the thing that makes our company so much different is we don't lecture these people. We give them a platform for them to make individual changes, small changes, not major changes.
Right.
Small changes that they can make within their behavior that's going to make a difference in how they develop a more affinity for the company. They buy into the company philosophy, and it's sustainable because when you make changes yourself, when you make them and not being told to make changes, you're fine.
Do you find that that's the biggest challenge, is that people need to be willing to change?
Sure.
Is that maybe the...
It has to be their plan.
Right.
Right.
There's a quote that we use a lot from a guy who wrote a book on organizational design. People don't resist change. What they resist is being changed.
Okay.
Yes,
They
that's the same
just
thing,
don't
right.
like having change imposed on them.
Peter Drucker?
No, Peter Senge. Another different Peter. Same
So,
idea, though.
so is part of the wrong approach is trying to change too much too fast? That if you implement smaller changes, easier changes, it's more acceptable?
No, you can
No.
get really, really.
Wow.
The trick is it's all about micro behavior. The little changes that you can make in your day that put you on your mission, put you back in your game.
Okay.
Literally, what a coach does for a sports team. It's not about the big move. How do you get the ball over the goalpost? It's about this yard and how do you get the next yard and how do you get. Sometimes it's the next 3 inches.
Right.
So the battle really is how to break down the whole thing into little steps that when you add them all up mean you get to make the big plays as a team.
And this has nothing to do with the type of industry, the type of work you do.
Whenever you
It
get
just
group people
supersedes
together to
any
do
type
anything,
of industry.
yeah, and that's the great thing is that all industry is people. There is no way to replace the human element in
So
industry.
far,
That's
you're
just
right.
all there is to it. So what we'd like to do is take the whole concept of individual motivation and break it down into 4 ingredients, which is what you serve in your water cooler. They're basically 4 flavors. We teach people behaviorally what those 4 flavors will cause them to do. Some flavors make you more focused and more detail-oriented. Other flavors make you more outgoing and more engaged with people. The goal is to find what flavor of Kool-Aid, what mix of those 4 flavors are we serving in this organization's water cooler. That's our culture. When we drink our water cooler water, when we drink from our
The
water
water
cooler,
that we made.
we're experiencing our culture. When we serve it to other people, we're expressing our brand.
That's so cool.
When we invite other
This is
people to
fascinating.
come,
Folks, you have to get a hold of these
Yeah.
guys. First of all, let me make sure you understand. Their consultations are courtesy of the firm. They will talk to anybody to help them understand why they might need this help. I want you to get a hold of Joe. He's the managing partner, and his number is 856-287-7971. That's his cell phone number. His regular phone number is 856-983-3484. This is fascinating stuff. I don't care if you have 4 employees or 40 or 400. You need to hear what these people have to say if you want your business to go forward as a team, as a one well-oiled, cultured, aiming towards the right target together team, then this is what you got to do.
Yeah.
That was a run-on sentence, probably.
Yeah,
That's
no,
okay.
I like that.
That's
That's
Yeah,
great.
but you guys have been wonderful, and I just hope everybody out there is listening, and the people who hear this over and over again for the next few months, take it upon us to offer your services to them by giving you a call at 856-983-3484. I
Yeah.
can't imagine they won't learn something.
And I'd like to give them the opportunity, just to give them that shot right
Please.
at the camera, right? You guys can say whatever you need to say. Now, I urge it to be about the business.
Right.
Okay.
But if you wanted to go on another tangent, right, that's up to you.
I just want to say, seeing is believing. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on your show today. You guys have been terrific hosts, and
Thank
it's
you.
been a great experience.
Please
for
tell
us.
our listeners how to get a hold of you guys.
Everybody who's watching and listening today gets to take, at no charge, brand and culture alignment toolkit assessment. So for your viewers and your listeners, we want to offer that.
And how do you get a hold of you guys?
Cini&Partners.com. My phone number is 609-238-5070. Joe's?
Mine, 856-287-7971. I'm on the road a lot. You can reach me by cell phone. My office number is 856-983-3484. And one other thing I'd like to mention is that we have a total money-back guarantee on our services. If somebody decides to do the BCAT service and they don't feel it's worth it to them, it's a full refund of your investment with no charge, with no questions asked.
It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, and if you go to the website, again, it's Ciniandpartners.com. There's a contact form on there. That's a really easy way to get in touch with you
That's
guys.
great.
Just fill out the form, and somebody will call you back almost immediately. So.
And if, in fact, you do call these guys, we want you to call into us and tell us how it went, because I have a feeling you're going to have a great story to share with us.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been so much fun
Well,
having
thank
you
you
here.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Really.
Pleasure.
Happy holidays.
Thank
It's
you.
been great.
You're
Thank you
welcome. Our
much.
pleasure. Thank you.
Folks, this is Breakfast with the Boss. My partner in crime here, Mark Cook, part of the Morning Coffee Show. Thanks for having me on. I forgot to thank you.
Oh, don't thank me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank
This was
you.
great.